Welcome back. So I wanted to make another video, again random, just because I am procrastinating on homework. So I'm gonna make a little video about my engagement and my wedding planning, how it's going right now. And yeah, hopefully somebody finds it interesting or entertaining or helpful, maybe. I don't know. Let's talk about weddings. So first off, I always thought I was gonna be the single aunt and never get married because that was just not my fate. I just had really bad luck with men and relationships, and yeah, that was pretty much just my mentality. Like, it's just not gonna happen. I'm over it. But then I met someone. You hear Callie crying. That's my dog. She got into the bathroom and got into the trash, and it just was not a pretty sight. So she's crying right now because she was a bad girl. So we're just not gonna give her attention because she's in timeout. But anyways, so I met Alex, who's my fiance, who's in my other videos. And when I met Alex, we were in two different mindsets. And it just didn't work out. We went on a date, and after that date, it just kind of didn't go anywhere, and we just stopped talking. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, whatever. Like, he's a player. Like, he knows he's cute. I'm not interested. Then a year later, I would always, side note, keep up with him because I thought he was cute, and I just always kept up with him. If you know, you know. So a year later, I saw a post that he made that he was going to the army, and I was like, ooh, snack. And then I saw he never posted for like a while, and then I saw a post of his picture, his graduation picture, where they have all their nice stuff and the flag in the back. It's hanging in front of me, and I was like, oh, snack. Oh, girl, I need him to ask me out. Anyways, I stalk him. He ends up asking me out to dinner. We get together. He completely different person. When I tell you completely different person, like, he just seemed very, very mature, opposed to a year ago when I was like, oh no, this ain't gonna work. And it just blew my mind. Instantly, I was like, this is a whole different person. This is what I want. I need to trap him. So we really hit it off, and he had to go back to the military because he was just home for holiday break. So he's gonna go back to the military, and he was like, I really want us to be a thing, and I was just not trying to make that commitment and then him go to the military and cut me off and then leave me just high and dry, sad, thinking about, oh, like, this guy's not calling me or answering me or whatever the case may be. So I was like, listen, if you still reach out to me while you're in the military, then when you get back, maybe we can, make this a little more serious. But until then, I think we should just, leave it open because I don't want to get hurt. And he was like, okay, like, whatever. He goes to the military. He called me every single day. And they didn't have their phones because it was his training and stuff. But one of his friends sneaked in the Apple Watch. So he would literally call me every night, I knew, at like 10 for 5 minutes. I would get like 5 minutes. Either the phone would die or the friend had to call the girlfriend or whatever the case may be. But I got 5 minutes. But he would call me every single day. And then weekends, he would call me and text me because they would get their phones. So I was just like blown away. Like, this guy's really calling me every day. Like, what? This isn't how I thought this was gonna go. So everybody in my family was blown away because they're like, he's still calling you? Like, I was like, girl, he's still calling me. Like, what? So it was just really nice, to see that commitment and that interest, and I was just like, oh, I really like him. So then he ends up coming back from the military, and we end up being together, and it's a thing. And then shortly after, we moved in together. Then shortly after, we got a house together, we got a dog, and it just evolved, right? So I still thought, I really did think I'm gonna marry Alex. I just figured he's probably gonna ask me maybe when we're like, maybe like 3 years, 4 years in. I assumed. because I told him I don't want to have children until we're married. If we have children, then, you know, I'm not against it. I'm not upset or whatever. It is what it is. We're stable. We're happy. But preferably, I want to get married first. Well, I didn't expect him to propose. I didn't expect anything about the proposal. So onto the proposal. I'm going to insert a clip of the proposal. I have short clips that like my family took and his family.
Oh, déjame sacar la cabeza.
The knife. Wait, what is that? What happened? Me. Oh my god! No way! Oh. So we got engaged on Aiden's birthday. Aiden is Alex's son, so it was his birthday. This was August 16th, and Aiden, I guess Alex showed Aiden the ring and told him about it or whatever, and Aiden was like, can you do it on my birthday? So, because it was gonna be Aiden's birthday. So the week of Alex tells, I think a week or two before Aiden's birthday, Alex is like, hey, my mom suggested we have a nice dinner for Aiden. He really wants to go to a fancy dinner, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, he's 8. Like, why would he want a fancy dinner? Like, that's not fun. That's, you know, that's more for us, not for him. We should have a party. We should have like a birthday party with bouncies. And I'm like all over the place. And he's like, well, Aiden really wants to go to a fancy restaurant. Now, this is the craziest thing, right? The week before, we went tubing to the Delaware River. And while we were on the river, Alex had said, do you want to go to dinner? We were going to drop Aiden off to his mom's after tubing. So I was like, yeah, let's go to dinner. And Alex was like, there's a really nice restaurant that we wanted to go to. Do you want to go there? And I'm like, yeah, like we should go there. I want to get all dressed up. So if you give me an excuse to get dressed up, I'm going to take it. So he's like, yeah, like whatever. Unbeknownst to us, Aiden's literally deep in the conversation. So we had my niece with us, and my niece tells me when we talk back on the conversation, she's like, yeah, Aiden was really upset because he wanted to go to dinner with you guys, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, so when Alex tells me he wants to go to a fancy dinner, I'm like, that makes sense because he didn't go last time when we were going to go. So I'm like, all right. So Alex is like, we're going to go to this restaurant. Like, I really want your family to come. And my family does not, they're not social. They don't like going to like, you know, events and places and meeting new people. My mom, she just doesn't like it. They're not mean or rude about it. They're just not social. Like they, you know, they rather stick to what they know and who they know and just keep it at that. So I'm like, babe, like, you know, if they don't come, don't take it personal because they're not like that. So he was like, well, you know, I just really want them to go. So he's really adamant about them going. And I'm like, all right, like I'll tell them, but you know. So I end up telling my mom and everyone, and they're like, yeah, like, you know, just whatever, brushing off. And I'm like, they're not gonna go. Like, don't feel sad. So he ends up making reservations at this restaurant I've never been to. We end up getting there. It's called Scotland Run. I don't know if it's in New Jersey. It's this beautiful golf course restaurant place. It's gorgeous. And I love going to places like these. Like, I live for it. So Alex is like, you know, it's a really fancy restaurant, whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna put some heels on. I'm gonna look cute. I'm gonna put a skirt on. Like, I was so excited. So I got Aiden a cute little outfit. And I wore a black skirt with a black silky shirt, and you'll see. And I got my makeup done and, you know, whatever. So the whole time Alex never nagged me about, you know, what are you wearing? What are you gonna wear? He always nags me about, let's match. What are you gonna wear? What are you not, like, you know, why are you taking so long? Can you hurry up? How long are you gonna take? Are you almost done? Like, not a thing. But I just didn't think about it. He was in the room just on his phone the whole time I'm getting ready. So finally I come upstairs and I'm like, all right, we're ready. He's like, oh, you look great, like whatever. He wore black too. Fine, we get there. My whole family shows up and I was like, wow, they really like him. Like, I'm shocked, but I was like, all right. So they get there, his whole family gets there, his uncle, his dad, his stepdad, it was just like everyone. And I was like, this is so nice. It's so awesome. He's like, oh, my friend, a person he works with, does photography. He said he'll take pictures for free for Aiden. And I was like, that is so sweet. How nice. So his friend's taking pictures of everyone, and we have a great dinner, and it's coincidentally there's a wedding happening there. So we're having a great dinner, everybody's taking pictures, whatever. We go to cut the cake, everyone's giving Aiden cards for his birthday, so I'm just taking the cards and putting them in my purse. Towards the end, Aiden comes up to me and he's like, Betty, this one's for you. And I said, no, it's your birthday card, open it. And he's like, no, it's for you. I'm like, for me? And I open it and the card says forever. And instantly I'm like, what is this? I am the queen of jumping to conclusions. So I was like, oh, well, that's a big conclusion to jump to. So I open it and the card says, will you marry my daddy? I love you, Aiden. In his handwriting, like he wrote it. And I'm just like, this is happening? Like, does this mean he's proposing? And what's going through my head is, if I turn around and he's not behind me on his knee, I'm gonna look so stupid. So I turn around and I'm scared because I'm like, is he, like, he's not, is he? Like, and I turn around and he's on his knee. I didn't even hear him say, will you marry me? I didn't even hear anything. I just saw him and I was like, this is happening. And I'm an ugly crier, like, and when I cry, not only am I an ugly crier, but I like, like, I give a show. So when I turn around, I don't know if you can hear it, you kind of can a little bit, but I'm like, because I'm trying so hard to hold in my cry. So anyways, we got engaged August 16th, and since then, wedding planning has not really been happening too much. First of all, coronavirus does not help. Second of all, where do you start when you're a beginner, you know? One of the first things I did was I looked up YouTube videos on wedding planning. You know, I looked up wedding planning timelines, like what should I do first? What should I start with? Whatever. So after looking up a couple videos and looking up a lot of stuff, I ended up purchasing a wedding planner. You know, I looked at a couple reviews and a lot of things led me to this planner. So I was like, it's meant to be. So I bought this planner on Amazon. It's called the Complete Wedding Planner. It's beautiful. It's nice, big, thick, and sturdy. So I got this planner. It was like, I think $30. I'm not sure. But I wanted to get one because I want to keep it forever. I want to look back on it. I want to actually fill it out, and I want to actually use it to help guide me. You know, I'm not going to hire a wedding planner because that's just not in our budget. And I'm not a professional. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never had a wedding. I've never been part of a wedding. You know, I don't have a large group of friends, and my only friend that got married, as of right now, got married in Mexico, and I couldn't go. So I was not really involved in the process. So I got this wedding planner and I found it very interesting and useful, and it has a lot of different sections. It has like your wedding vision, fundamental timeline, guest planning, venue vendors, wedding, and it gives you lists and checklists and a nice little like direction. So I got it, and when I received it, me and Alex went through it and we read it all, and we really started thinking about, you know, what do we want to do? Alex is a very involved person. He is not the type to be like, you know, go ahead, you know, I just say, no, he's very like, oh, what about this? Or what about that? Or he likes to be a part of it, and it's not a bad thing, but sometimes, you know, we bump heads because we have different styles or interests. So we were just dumbfounded as to where to start. And one of the biggest things was getting a venue, because a lot of things are based around your date, and we can't have a date until we get a venue. So because of coronavirus, a lot of weddings have been moved to 2021, which means a lot of venues are already booked for 2021. So we were between, do we want to do 2022 or do we want to just do something really, really, really small? I've always wanted to get married. I'm not trying to have a wedding of 500 people. I don't even think I know 500 people. But I do want to have a wedding. It's always been a dream of mine. I never dreamed of what colors or my tables or, you know, the venue, but my dress. I've always dreamed about my dress. And like I said, I love being extra, and that's the one thing that I am just antsy about doing and seeing and having and wearing and experiencing is the dress. So we were like, all right, we need to find a date. So we went to a couple places. You know, looking up venues is exhausting. I was Googling and searching, and we got the Knot app and we got another app, and places were extraordinarily expensive. Places were so, you know, picky about, no, it has to be, we only have these days, or you can only use this caterer, or you can only use our caterer, or it has to be done at a certain time, or we don't, you know, we don't do liquor, or whatever the case may be. It's so much you have to ask and you have to get informed about and you have to really look into. So a friend of Alex's went to this venue. He was raving about it. Alex was like, you know, we really need to check it out. We really need to check it out. I'm contacting this place and it's just super booked and she just has no dates and this and that. Long story short, after like 2 months of contacting this place, she finally tells me, you know, I have a date to tour you. So we go and we fall in love. We fall in love with it, everything about it. So I guess the coordinator or whatever, so nice, so generous, so gives us so much information. I literally bought myself a little notebook where I wrote down like, who did I speak to? What did she tell me? How many per person? You know, what times do we have? How many weddings do they have a day? Or events do they have? You know, do they charge us for the ceremony? Do they not? Do they have the liquor insurance, or do we have to purchase it? Like, so many things that you have to look up, you know, because we're not using a wedding planner. You know, we're not paying someone to just go do it for us. So once I found this place and was able to speak to her, and she was just so helpful and gave us so much information, we were like, I think we're gonna do it. So as of right now, for our wedding planning, we bought a planner. We have picked our wedding party. I started DIYing my proposal gifts to my bridesmaids. I'm not gonna show them just yet, just because I'm still going to give them to my bridesmaids now that we finally have a date. And then once I know I'm gonna give it to them, then I'm gonna do a little video on what I made and how I'm gonna give it to them and everything. But as of right now, we have our wedding party picked. We have not asked them yet because we're putting together our wedding party gifts. But we have our wedding party picked. We have our venue. We have our date, and we are going to get married on September 3rd, 2022. We are so excited to finally have a date and finally be able to get moving with, you know, the DJs and the music. And the best thing about our venue that I am just so grateful for and so happy that it worked out the way it did is that the wedding coordinator will be assisting me in the wedding planning process. So once we booked our date, the first thing she told me was, you need to find a videographer and you need to find a DJ, because those are the things that are going to get booked up the most right now. So that we still haven't done. That's going to be another mission, another round of research. But as of right now, we are taking baby steps. We have a generous amount of time to plan. I am very happy that we decided to do it in 2022, because my goal for our wedding is for us not to bicker and argue and stress about decisions. You know, I know it's gonna happen, stress here and there, but I don't want that to be the memory of us planning our wedding. So with her help, hopefully this is gonna be such a smoother process and an exciting process. It's the first time me and Alex are getting married. We are the first, you know, kids in our family to get married, in our close family. Like, his siblings didn't have a wedding. My siblings didn't have a wedding. My mother didn't have a wedding. So it's gonna be really nice for both of our families to experience, to be a part of, and to see. It's such a big move, you know. And if you're engaged and you're watching this, you are not stressed out alone. I get anxiety when people start asking me, like, so did you pick the day? So did you pick the DJ? So did you pick, you know, who's gonna be in your wedding party? Like, or did you already ask them? Oh, you didn't ask them? Like, when people start asking me questions, I know it comes from a good place and you're just, you know, curious, but it's really stressful, and it really starts to make me feel like, am I not moving fast enough? Am I not doing something right? Am I a bad you know, fiance? But you're not. You are learning and you're planning something that you have no experience in. It's really nice to know you're not supposed to be an expert. Nobody expects you to be an expert. I keep telling myself that. So when I think, okay, we need to look for a DJ, we need to look for a photographer, we need to look for, you know, finalize our proposal gifts, and I start feeling anxious and stressed, I just think, I'm not a professional. This is my first time. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to take my time with it. And I want to look back and be happy and excited and proud of everything we did. So I'm excited to hopefully document this journey and be able to look back on it and see, you know, from our engagement to our actual wedding and our future together. That's what I want the focus of this channel to be about, just looking back on just fun things we did or random things I decided to record. But it's just, you know, our life. And I wanted to share this intro to my little wedding series. And moving forward, you know, once we're gonna do something else wedding related, I'm going to capture the moment and make a little video to share with whoever's watching. My whole 8 followers, you're appreciated. And hopefully it's enjoyed, because I enjoy watching other people give tips and tricks and share, you know, their story, because I feel like it's a whole nother level of stress being engaged when it comes to wedding planning, because there's so many things you can't just do. You have to research and you have to, you know, plan out and discuss with your partner and figure out, and it sounds easy, but it's not. So I know I'm not alone. Whoever's watching this and you're engaged planning a wedding, you're not alone. We are in this together, and I'm sure the day of our wedding will be a very exciting moment that all this is worth. So this is my wedding intro video, and our wedding planning will begin. So right now I just have like a couple pages filled in, so we're not gonna really go that into it. But we have a day, we have a venue, we have a crew, and everything else I truly believe will fall into place. So if you're interested in watching my wedding journey, please like, share, subscribe, and keep on watching, because it's gonna be a good one. Bye.